friend's sister was openly flirting with my husband in front of me. I told her off publicly, and now they want a public apology from me. What action should I take so that I don't ruin my friendship? I, 31F, am close friends with Lisa, 33F. We met at college and became roommates, and I love her to death. Lisa has a sister, Amy, 20F, whom I've met occasionally in college, but she was so young at that time we never really hung out. Lisa had a bridal shower in February, and I financially contributed to most of it since I wasn't able to be there in person to help with the planning. I gave money to Amy to pay for everything, the decor, food, and alcohol. I even paid for an overnight stay at a hotel for all 7 girls. I did all of this because I couldn't make it to her bachelorette party the week before. I had also paid for the limo Amy wanted to host the party in. At the shower, I saw Amy, and she was gushing about how I had spent a lot of money on Lisa. I just said if it's for Lisa, I would have paid for anything. Amy was hinting that my job was paying so much money for me to spend on Lisa this much. I'm a new surgeon, just graduated from residency. I got a pay bump, but not a lot. I'm lucky because my husband is supporting me while I go through fellowship. My husband, 40M, is a doctor too, but so much more advanced in his career than me. For my wedding gift, he paid off the remainder of my student loans. He is amazing, and I am obsessed with him. Wedding happened in March. My husband and I came for the wedding. Family and close friends were invited to Lisa's parents' place for dinner after. Amy was very handsy with my husband. Even during the wedding, she was asking him about his job, how smart he was to be working in the ICU, how hot he was, how he looks like a young Alain Delon, blah blah. My husband was giving me signals to come to him, and I did. This happened at least 2 more times. At Lisa's parents', Amy was wrapping her arm around my husband's back and was serving him drinks and food. I told Lisa's mom about how Amy's making me and my husband very uncomfortable, and her mom pulled her aside and told her off, I think because she came out grumpy. She was still acting like a crazed teenager because when we wanted to leave, she wouldn't give my husband his jacket back to him and kept sniffing it. I had a feeling that she was drunk and completely out of it. My husband raised his voice and told her to stop messing around and give it to him. I yelled, "Can you stop being so difficult? You've been shamelessly flirting with my husband in front of me the whole day. Give me the damn jacket and leave us alone." I got a text from Lisa's mom demanding I publicly apologize to Amy, as in post on social media a heartfelt apology, because some of the guests heard me yell at her and thought I was overreacting and humiliated her. Lisa is on my side and told me Amy has always had gold-digging tendencies and that this isn't the first time she'd done something like this. She flirted with her friend's dad and their next-door neighbor who is married when she thought that they were wealthy. Lisa said that she'll handle it. I already felt so bad I ruined the last moments of her wedding day, and now she has to deal with this. I'm ruminating on this a lot lately and wondering if I should apologize to Amy. I don't want to, but then again, if I did, I would explain exactly what happened and how it merited my reaction to her. Though this might add fuel to the fire. There is so much drama right now, and I want to preserve my friendship with Lisa. TLDR, friend's sister flirting with my husband. I embarrassed her, and now she wants a public apology. I'm thinking of doing it, but detailing exactly what happened and might paint her in a bad light. But all this drama could cost my friendship with my friend. Update. Keeping it as short as I can and typos galore cause I'm on call. Previous post got so popular that Amy's mom found it and texted me to take down, in all caps. I got around to read most of the comments a day after I posted when I finished my shift. I did not apologize to anyone or did anything at all. Frankly, I forgot about it since I had people close to dying on me left and right at work. I gaslit Amy's mom into thinking that I never did such a thing and that I did not have a Reddit account. She believed it, I think, since she didn't text me back. Come on, the details I put in that post were exactly what she experienced, and she didn't find it odd? For clarification, one of you said I had a spine of a jellyfish. Love that comment, and not apologizing was the right thing to do. I was hesitant and was actually considering giving that apology because of the fact that she fed me and let me stay in her home during Thanksgiving and Christmas many years ago when I couldn't go home to my family. I'm the kind of person who'll remember every good thing you do for me and do my best to reciprocate or get even so as to not be indebted to you. What kind of mental illness is that? I never retained much of the psychiatric info from med school. A lot of people insinuated that me being docile and restrained in those kinds of situations makes me a bad surgeon, to which I say I beg your effing pardon. Would you want someone who's operating on you have a criminal record for causing bodily harm/homicide? Also, I've dealt with worse than Amy. I've survived handling 19 psychotic patients with TBIs for a whole rotation. Me being aggressive would have gotten me kicked out of my fellowship. Things that have transpired. I tried to avoid contacting Lisa since she went off on her honeymoon, but because of the popularity of my previous post, I decided to give her a heads up. Lisa was more than apologetic. In fact, she FaceTimed me and we had a very teary conversation about her family. There were a lot more going on than I never knew, but mine and my husband's involvement in her family drama was the last straw. She had decided to go no contact with her mom and sister. She also warned me that Amy might approach my husband in some way, but no idea how. She's also getting her extended family involved about Amy. My husband does not have any social media, so hot, and he did not give out his number to anyone at all during the wedding. He is anal about loyalty and transparency in our marriage. We have access to each other's electronics. I know he would never cheat on me. 3 days ago, someone called my husband's clinic asking to get his number for an emergency and that she needed to get a hold of his wife. The nurse who answered refused to give a physician's personal number and the conversation got heated. My husband's colleague, another intensivist, took over and asked her to tell him what the emergency was so that he could tell my husband himself. The person on the phone argued some more, and when the doctor wouldn't give, she hung up. That friend told my husband what happened and said the woman didn't give her name but had a very high-pitched childlike voice. My husband immediately knew it was Amy, but we have no proof. I know it was her. She must have searched my husband's name on Google and found where he worked, since his professional profile is online along with the name of his hospital. I'm getting more and more irritated by this whole thing and have gone full on mama bear mode over my husband. He was furiously annoyed after the wedding and was saying if the genders were switched he would have definitely gotten punched not even halfway through the wedding. My husband had terrible experiences with women before. 2 women at different times tried to baby trap him. One did some Sherlock level manipulation and one harassed us when we were dating. He is usually a cool and calm guy, but now he hasn't been smiling or joking around with me like he always does ever since the wedding. Anywho, my uncle, our lawyer, was consulted. Security at my husband's department and around our home have been notified. Thank you guys. P.S. Kelly, if you're reading this, do something about your younger daughter before something bad happens. Also, you don't deserve your older daughter. Edit, a Moriarty level manipulation. Now that makes more sense, not Sherlock TF. My boyfriend has been ignoring me ever since I said no. I, 17F, have been dating Robert, 18M, for about 5 months. We met through a mutual friend, but started becoming closer once he asked me for my number. I really like him. I'd even say love if it wasn't so early. He was my date to my school dance. He goes to a different school, and after the dance we went back to his house to just hang out. I changed out of my dress into sweats and a big shirt and just threw my dress over his desk chair. I went over to sit by him on his bed when he grabbed me and put me on top of his lap. We started kissing until he started to pull my shirt up. I'd never been really into the idea of sex or anything more than kissing, probably because I'm a private person and just am, in my opinion, too young for that to interest me. I stopped kissing him and told him that I didn't want it to escalate, and he immediately got upset at me. I tried to say never mind and we could do it, but he just got an attitude with me and gave me the cold shoulder. He walked out of the room and left me sitting on the bed. He slammed the door as he left. I was confused because he's never tried to do anything like that or act like that. He was sitting in the living room and he texted me saying leave, and I started to get all my stuff packed together. I got ready at his house. I was walking out the door when his mom asked why I was leaving, and I just told her my mom needed me home before it got too late. Like 10 minutes after I left, Robert called me asking where I went. I replied with "You told me to leave," and he got mad saying I didn't mean it. You can't ever take a joke, come back. I said it sounded serious, so I took it that way, and he hung up on me and has been ignoring me for 3 days. I asked our mutual friend if he's heard anything from him regarding me, and he said Robert was pissed he was never going to be able to hit. I don't know why he would say that because he's never talked about me like that. Am I wrong here? What do I do? Edit. Thank you all for the advice. As of today, March 12th, 24 at 8 p.m., Robert did finally reply to me and just told me that he wants to talk in person. I'm going to go over to his house tomorrow to discuss whatever there is to discuss. I'm not 100% sure how to use Reddit since this is my first time, so I'll try my hardest to update correctly. Update. Hi everyone, this is an update to my post yesterday. I'd be lying if I said it went easy, and before I go into detail, please don't comment saying I told you so because I most definitely do not want to hear that and 100% know who was right, but at the end of the day I made the decision to go over and end it, also to get my things back. I'm glad I went over, to further fully comprehend who he is, and if I could go back in time and do it again, I would. This will be a long update. I went over to his house at around 3, right after I got out of school, and brought our mutual friend with me. I explained my side of the story to him, and he's on my side and thinks it was disgusting of Robert to say that and act that way towards me. I wasn't too scared to go inside since I knew I had backup, as well as his parents being home. I replied to a comment saying I wouldn't have agreed to go if they weren't there. We both walked up to the door and knocked. Robert opened the door and gave our friend, I'll call him Quentin, a nasty look. Robert asked Quentin why he was with me. Quentin said he was there to make sure nothing happened. Robert invited us in, but kept the look on his face as Quentin walked in behind me. We went to his room where all my stuff was in a bag and Quentin sat next to me on the bed while Robert sat in his desk chair. Before I could start talking, Robert cut me off to say how sorry he was and that he didn't mean to make me uncomfortable. I wanted to think it was a sincere apology, but because of this whole situation, there was no way it could be sincere. I said, I know you said you're sorry, but how do I know it won't happen again? I don't trust you anymore, and I can't be with someone I don't trust, and his face immediately changed. I stood up to grab my bag of stuff when Robert sprung up and pushed me back onto the bed to make me sit down. Quentin got up and told Robert not to start stuff he can't finish. Robert got in Quentin's face and started yelling random insults at him and accusing Quentin of being the reason why I decided to end it. I stood up and told Robert to back off and that he ruined this relationship the second he tried to pressure me into having sex with him. Robert shoved me, and that's when his dad came to the room. The yelling was loud enough for him to hear from the living room, and seeing that I was just shoved, his dad yelled his name. Robert turned to the door and was standing there like he did nothing wrong. His dad told me that he would take it from here and to get all my stuff, and if I forgot anything to message him and he would return it. Quentin grabbed the bag while I thanked his dad, and we both left unscathed. I had a talk with his dad about what happened, and his dad basically chewed him out for how he treated me and how that's not how you treat a woman. I thanked him again because he de-escalated the situation by coming in the room. Yeah, I was shoved and Quentin was insulted, but the both of us agree that this is the best outcome. His dad basically saved Robert from being beat up in his own home by Quentin. Quentin is 6 feet 2 inches, 250 pounds. I'm lucky enough that this was the outcome and that I wasn't sexually assaulted or anything of the sort. Thank you all for the advice, and for those who called me as dumb as a doormat, this doormat left him. Robert is blocked, and both I and his father will not allow him to reach out regardless of the circumstance. I appreciate all the concerns and worries, but I will not be dating anyone until I heal from whatever BS this was. Thank you everyone.